Hey, Grand Ascension, everyone. Let me make sure I got this volume turned up really good. I think I'm on. Let me see. I didn't even check before I logged in. One second. I think it cut off. 1 minute. I hope I don't drop this camera, this phone. Okay, let's. I'm at 50%, so I'm good. I got to charge this thing tonight. How's everybody doing? I just thought I'd jump on here. It's about 7:45 p.m. on Sunday, supposedly January the 4th. And I just wanted to come on here and do a short reading. I talked to you guys, I think day before yesterday, or was it yesterday? Day before yesterday or yesterday. And we did a quick reading, or, a reading. It's like an hour and something long. So I'm really going to try to get back into daily readings if I can, or at least several times a week, right? Because I took a period of time where I took off from that. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing good tonight. I'm going to start out by reading The Murder of Reality, Hidden Symbolism of the Dragon by Pierre Sabaks. He has a YouTube channel. I highly recommend you go over there and subscribe to his channel. Also might dive into Flying Serpents and Dragons. This is the story of mankind and reptilians past, R.A. Boulay. And then we also are going to be finishing up Rise of the Clones by Guy Anderson. I'm waiting for his new book to be delivered. We're going to read from chapter 14. That's where I left off at. So let's just get right into reading, okay? So if you're getting ready to go to sleep, or you're putting the kids to sleep, or you're just chilling out and you're listening to music, you want to listen to me read while you're driving to work, please do so, okay? I'm just going to recap. So we're going to start off with Rise of the Clones, the Cabbage Patch Babies. Now, if you remember, I said that I was going to do a short presentation with you guys here on Facebook. I'm going to pull up my laptop and go through a couple of biogenetic companies. I'm still going to do that, okay? Just to recap what we read the last chapter. Chapter 13 was over Clonade, right? And I told you I'd submitted my information to them and waiting for them to contact me. I didn't give them all my information, my correct information. I gave them a different number. So we'll see. They've got my email and all that. So we'll see how that goes. I'm just curious, right? I'm just curious. So chapter 13, Clonade. This bottom part, I want to read this to you what Guy Anderson says, right? So he says, just as a recap, in closing this chapter, I would leave you with the concerns. What if the company that now holds your genetic profile has already sold your information to the biotech giants? All right. And I'm specifically thinking about Ancestry.com because we did read over a chapter of that, if you remember. And so a lot of people have sent in their DNA, not understanding that once you send your DNA in, what are they going to do with it? I mean, can you opt out of them not selling your information? I think you can, but really, do they not sell your information? I mean, a person could tell you they're going to do something and they don't. That's my point. But there's no conspiracy there. I mean, people sell your data all the time. So who's to say they can't sell your blood work? Just saying. So he says, from there, who's to say that your information is not sent to these biotech giants? What if they could not grow another version of, what if they could grow another version of you, a clone, not bound by memory or soul, but with your genes, your potential for help, and your physical traits, ready to be tested, manipulated, or even used for purposes you will never know? I mean, they got cities underground. We don't know what these people are doing. We know that they're capable of some dark things, right? It says it was a simple swab, one small sample of your blood and your skin or your cells, but as it travels across the country, leaving your fingertips, right? You couldn't help but wonder, what if the version of you they create in the future doesn't even know it's you? Now, you guys know, again, Blackstone purchased Ancestry.com, right? You guys know that. So I think I did mention that a couple of videos back, but I just want you to understand that, yes, a private equity firm has a stake in Ancestry.com, and who knows what's going on there. I mean, I'm not speculating. I'm just being honest with you guys, right? So it says, in the darkest corners of the digital age, your DNA just isn't a record of your ancestry. It's a commodity, a currency. And so you sit alone, staring at the letter with your name on it, and you realize just how easy you could become someone else's property. Your very identity reduced to numbers could be reassembled into something or someone else. The fear lingers. How many people have already been cloned? How many copies of you exist hidden out there in the hands of those who don't care to ask for your consent? And as the shadow of the future where DNA can be bought, sold, and recreated looms, you begin to feel that sinking realization you've just unlocked the door. The question is, who else holds the key? All right, that was a synopsis of chapter 13. We're going to get into 14. This is the homunculus, I guess is how you say it. Homunculus. Okay. Until recently, I hadn't considered including a chapter about this rather unusual being, but having been told by so many people to watch a podcast produced by Mind Unveiled, which was approaching 10 hours long, another great YouTube channel to subscribe to. 2026, I'm really going to try to hammer it out and watch nothing but documentaries. I did buy Avatar this weekend, Avatar 1, Avatar 2, because I plan on going to see Avatar 3. And when I was watching that, it just brought tears to my eyes because even though it's animation, I know that shit really happened. I know that shit really happened. And some could say that it was us when the colonists came here, and populated over here and interbreeded with us females and stuff. I'm just telling you, truth is stranger than fiction. So I'm really going to try to crank out the documentaries this year and try to get my knowledge game on point. I mean, yeah, I know a lot, but there's so much more that I need to learn, right? Shout out to Billy Carson. I was over on his live. Shout out to Chief Rebwolf. I was over on his live as well. Billy made a great point in stating that people now, with the technology and the way the industry is moving, we are moving further and further away from 4-year degrees. And now we're going to have what's called the nano degrees or certificates, that type of thing. So, I'm just saying, some people are in college right now, racking up debt. When they get out, they're not even going to find a job in their profession, and because their profession's no longer going to be relevant. Like, they're just saying now CPAs are accountants, I'm just telling you, things are going to be changing exponentially. They're changing right in front of our very eyes, right? Just wanted to shout them out. All right, so let's get into it. Until recently, I hadn't considered including a chapter about the rather unusual being, but having been told by so many people to watch a podcast produced by Mind Unveiled, which was approaching 10 hours long, I came to the realization that it was vital to do so. Some of you won't have heard of this mythological creation before, but once you delve into its history, we'll see that there are some rather strange links to the homunculus and the human cloning. Okay. They term it homunculus is Latin for little man and first gained prominence in the 16th century through the writings of Paracelsus, a Swiss alchemist and physician. I probably didn't say his name right, but I'm trying. Paracelsus. He claimed that it was possible to create a tiny, full-form human being through artificial means, specifically by fermenting semen in a sealed container. Are y'all listening? Fermenting semen in a sealed container with horse manure for 40 days. Okay? His idea was based upon the belief that semen contained the blueprint for human life, with the womb merely serving as the incubator. I have to agree with them. I do know that the male sperm does create the life, and we do carry it. I'm just telling you, I do know that. So I'm going to agree with them on that one. Paracelsus can be seen in a more sinister light when viewed through the lens of occultism, alchemy, and radical experimentation. While he is often praised for the scientific advancements, his work also delved into dark arts, forbidden knowledge, and experiments that blur the lines between medicine and madness. Yeah. He believed that he could manipulate life itself, and his experiments in transmutation and life creation echo the forbidden knowledge of the Faustian legends. His doctrine, the dose makes the poison, suggests a dangerous philosophy. All right. So if you guys want to go look that up, the dose makes the poison suggests a dangerous philosophy. Anything could be lethal in the right hands. Some accounts suggest that he experimented with poisons and toxins on living subjects, pushing the boundaries of what was ethically acceptable. Paracelsus medical treatments often included rituals, invocations, and sigils, leading some to view him as less of a healer and more of a sorcerer, channeling unknown forces to manipulate life and death. In a time when medicine was tied to faith, Pericles, often defiant of religions and classical authorities, made him a heretic and a rebel. He sought secrets that man was not meant to know, challenging the divine order itself. In 1537, Pericles actually described the exact process for creating a homunculus in his works, De Nature Reum. John Dee, the famous English alchemist, mathematician, and advisor to Queen Elizabeth I, also with his scribe, Edward Kelly, conducted extensive experiments on communicating with angels using a language they called the Enochian. I got the book over here and I've read it, and I'm telling you, I'm just going to say this. Be careful what you read and be careful what you do. Shout out to Chief Red Wolf when he was talking about light and sage. Like, be careful when you be careful when you do those types of things, because you can bring something forth and not close that bad boy. You can bring something forth in a portal and not close it and leave it open. I won't go into it here on this video. I would just say this. There's some strange shit that has happened to me. Not saying I did that. Not saying that at all. I'm just simply saying where I lived at the time. The house was built a long time ago, and there was some weird stuff going on in the house. I'm just going to put it that way. My thing is you just have to understand that when you're seeking the knowledge, just be mindful of your intentions. I'm just going to say that. All right. So the Enochian magic, or the Enochian books, I got them right up here. I got multiple copies of different ones. I'm telling you, I got some stuff. But I find it quite interesting and quite fascinating. Also, one last thing. We're talking about the Enochian, the dialect and the sigils and things like that. Shout out to Chief Red Wolf and his live, because he asked a question, and I know if you guys have not seen it, go check it out. He asked the question, how many craters there are around this Earth dome. I looked it up on the live and I typed in 190 to 200. Now, if you guys remember months and months back, right, I read to you the Lost Book of Enki, and I talked to you guys. Also, I read the Book of Enoch, a specific chapter, and I cross-correlated that with the Anunnaki of Nibiru. My thing is he hit a nerve when he said something, because those craters all around the world that nobody talks about, they want to say it's from this thing hurling through the sky with these meteorites and things like that hit the earth and destroyed the dinosaurs. I'm telling you, they've lied about so much stuff. My point is that I know you haven't seen this. I'm just going to say this. The 200 craters alludes to the 200 that fell from heaven, the fallen, the interdimensional. People want to say, I don't say extraterrestrial anymore, because they're big just like you and I. They're just bigger and they look a little different. We look more like them than they look like us. We look like them. But my point is that those 200 craters all around the world cross-correlate with the 200 that fell to Earth. That's my point. So we're living in the time of knowledge and knowing, and I think it's quite freaking fascinating. Okay. And then, so with that being said, I might dive into a couple of chapters of the Enochian one day, but not now. Okay. I do have the book. I've read it. I think it's fascinating. I've wrote sigils out. I know what they cross-correlate, what they mean, and what they reference, what beings are they're tied to. So I'm just going to tell you, you just got to be careful with the knowledge, right? You just got to really be careful. Okay. So let me get back to it. So I just wanted to just drop that off about the 200. Shout out to Chief. I'm telling you, I learn something new every day, man. Learn something new every day. All right, so he says the angels using a language they called Enochian. Some of these angelic messages describe the manipulation of life and nature of divine creation, hinting at the idea that the alchemists later linked the Homunculus creation. Dee owned and studied the book of Dunstein, which was rumored to contain knowledge of the alchemical transmissions and artificial generation. Yeah, you got to understand something. We've been dealing with these beings for a long time, and they've been slowly giving us the tech. I mean, they walk among us, and there's multiple beings that live here. And I just think it's fascinating that we're the time and the age and knowledge of knowing where we're being monitored 24/7. We're being monitored by, excuse me, I'm getting that thing. Let me turn this off. We're being monitored by Zionists, the Mossad, CIA. We're being monitored by interdimensional extraterrestrials. We're being monitored by the people on the ground, the military. I'm telling you, we're being monitored by a lot of people. It's like the freaking Truman Show. I love it. I'm telling you, it's just truth is stranger than fiction, man. When you know, you know. So it says, so that's what this book was concerning. It said that it had alchemical, it had the knowledge of alchemical transmission and artificial generation, right? At the time, alchemists believed that creating a homunculus would grant the creator great power such as control over nature, okay, deep wisdom, and even immortality. In some esoteric traditions, it had been linked to the golem or Jewish folklore, suggesting that artificial beings could be created through divine or magical means. I'm going to tell you something. Now, this is no slight, because there's good people in every race and in every religion or every diaspora. All right. But once you get to a certain understanding and knowledge and knowing, you understand they call us the golem, but they're the Gentiles and they're actually the golem, because the phenotype that was created during the fall of Tardy and around that time for the reconstruction for them to create this phenotype was the pale skin race or the light skin race. Like I said, there were already light skinned people here, quote unquote white, because you know I don't believe in that. There were white people here, but there were not as many. They were very sparse and very few. You stood out like a sore thumb, is what I'm telling you. The planet was heavily melanated. It was all melanated, basically. Okay. And so when the destruction happened with the Tartars, meaning black babies, Tartarians, dark skin, when that happened, then that's when they introduced the phenotype. They had the Cabbage Patch and they had the incubator babies. There's proof. Mind Unveiled did videos on that. I mean, they did like 10 videos over that. I mean, a 10-hour long video over this stuff. I'm just telling you, I got to go to YouTube. I have a subscription, so I can't see you joining me. Hey, I have a subscription, so I don't see the commercials like, you know, people would see, because I pay for it every month. But my point is that they've got, you could go to Mind Unveiled University and really learn a lot. I'm just telling you. And when I look at, when I go to people's YouTube pages, I have these kind of little notebooks. Original Lone Wolf, I have one for you. Camiro, have one for you. Chief Red Wolf, Navy Poet, even Millennials Best. Anybody I've subscribed to that you're on my top 20, you got a book. You got a book over my bookshelf. And I take notes of what you talk about. And then I go look stuff up. I do. So I'm just telling you, you on Nisi's top 20, you got a book. So my point is, these golems are actually the incubator Cabbage Patch babies. And I'm not saying that all quote unquote white people are that. I told you they're not. Not all white people are Cabbage Patch babies. If you have a blood type O, positive, O negative, you come from us. You come from our DNA. You have Negroes in your family, and you are the lineage of the Negro, American Indian. All right. I'm just telling you, you got to do your genealogy. And, you know, for any of my light-skinned brothers and sisters, because, you know, I don't say white, my light-skinned brothers and sisters, if you do your genealogy, you'll see when your family came over to this land in America. And then you'll see the mixing. And I mean, some people say, oh, that's hogwash, that's poppycock, but it's a thing. I mean, it's proven by your genetics. It's proven by your blood type. And I mean, if you have a different blood type, like A or AB, then that still ties you to the Negro. I can send you papers if you want me to. Now, I'm not trying to get on here and argue with anybody. I'm just telling you what I've come to understand, understand, overstand. All right. So my point is these people run around here calling themselves something they're not. They're actually, see how they do. What's that word? It's not Munchausen. I forget. Okay, y'all know what it is, and nobody's joining me, so you'll think about it while I'm talking. But if you are a victim and you're kidnapped by your kidnapper, but then you sympathize with the kidnapper and you relate to the kidnapper, you start to, your beliefs start to align with the kidnapper and you feel sorry for the kidnapper. I cannot think of that word. I cannot think of that clinical name for it. But I'm telling you, we all have amnesia and we're all being duped by these people running around here claiming that they're claiming they're something that they're not. They've taken the identity of the people, and the people who they've taken the identity from don't know who the hell they are, and they're running around here claiming to be something that they're not either. So I'm just telling you, when you see it, when you start studying as much as I have, you're just baffled by it because you can't believe people they're not picking it up. They're really not. And it's no foul that you're not. It's just interesting to me. So the ones who claim that we are Gollum are actually the Goyim. The Goyim. All right. They're actually the Goyim. Just going to tell you. You ain't got to believe me. Go do the research. You'll figure it out. So this is Jewish folklore suggesting that artificial beings could be created through a divine or magical means. The Golem is a being created from clay and animated through the mystical rituals. The earliest mention of it dates back to the Talmud. The Talmud is written in Hebrew or Aramaic and is a key source for understanding Jewish religion's law, known as the Hakla and the Jewish traditions. I have it over here on the side of the bookshelf over here. I have the Torah and I have the Talmud. And I'm just going to tell you the Talmud is just pretty rank. They do some stuff in there, especially with little children. It's at a young age. I don't support that at all. I'm just going to tell you. I'm not going to get off topic. I'm just telling you, if you haven't read the Talmud and you claim that you're pro-Israel and you're pro this and that, read the damn Talmud and tell me what you think after you read it. Read it. Seriously. So, anyway, it's a key source for understanding Jewish religion's law known as the Halakha and the Jewish traditions. It was studied in depth by the scholars and religious Jews worldwide in the 3rd to the 6th century. Then, when rabbis were said to have created the humanoid creatures, they did. This is not too dissimilar to the Bible, particularly in Genesis, where God is depicted as creating man, Adam, from the dust, or more specifically, clay. All right, and I'm gonna tell you this: there are several different types of humanoids or human creatures. There's the ones who came here from other planets or solar systems, right? That have been here a very, very long time, and they were part of the Atlantean civilization. Dark Waters calls them the Water Kingdom. All right, I'm just going to tell you, they're part of the Atlantean civilization, and they are those people. All right, and then you have the Goyim, or AKA incubators, Cabbage Patch, and clones. All right, and then you have the natural, how do you call it? The natural humans that were, that came from afar, just like the Atlanteans, but you have the Maldekians that are here too, and you have the Lyrians. So you have a mixture of 3 to 4 different types of humanoids in this dome, if you didn't know that. So I'm just going to tell you, from what I've studied, now I'm not saying I'm right, so you go do your own research, but from what I've studied, the American Indian, aka the Negro, which is changed color, black, oh God, African American, all these damn names. We are originally from the Atlantean kingdom. That is my understanding. Now, not all of us, but I'm saying the majority of us are from the descendants of Atlantis. All right. And then when you look at that, we settled all around the world, right? If you read the text, you'll see that. All right. We settled all around the world. And there were multiple different races. And like it says here in this book that I'm reading to you, yes, there were people who genetically modified said humans and created them. All right. I'm just going to tell you. So this is not far off. This is not far off at all. All right. This is like maybe the sixth or seventh text that I read that's like that. So, I mean, if you're getting the same information from different places all around the world from different people, then what does that tell you? I'm just saying, if you've got multiple people saying the same thing, but they're saying it in different ways, is it a fairy tale? Is it folklore? Or is there some truth to it? All right. So then it says the rabbis were supposedly did this. Okay. This is not dissimilar to the Bible, particularly in Genesis, where God depicted as creating man. It's the Elohim. All right. Adam, and from dust, or more specifically clay. Rabbi Loa of Prague supposedly created a golem in the 16th century to protect the Jewish community. This animated figure was seen as a protective force, but as it wasn't fully human, it lacked a soul. Harry Potter fans might recognize the golem from Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire when Hagrid mentions them whilst teaching the students about magical creatures of Hogwarts. See, they put the truth in movies because this came directly from the Jewish Talmud. All right. So just saying. So it says the 16th century master Elijah of Chim, with the help of the book of Yatsavoth, allegedly made an artificial man, a golem. Elijah stated that it came to life when he wrote the secret name of God on the clay figure's forehead. All right. This is what it looks like. Now, I'm going to ask y'all something. Y'all remember seeing that documentary on History Channel? And no, it might still be on Netflix. It was about the, I don't have my other phone in here. Daggone it. I don't have my iPhone. I'm talking to you guys on my Android. It was from it's from China. All right. And it was the clay soldiers or clay warriors from China. And, they dug up this cave, and in this cave, it was said to have had the emperor's, army and the emperor's, body there, but he had it laced with some type of chemical so that if someone came down there later on, they could actually die from it. It's the clay warriors. I'm trying to turn on my tablet. See what I'm saying? I think it's called Clay Warriors, and it's on Netflix. That reminds me of these statues right here. Okay. And if you recall now, I'm not getting off task, and I'm cross correlating this stuff. So, Thoth Hermes, Emerald Tablets. I can't remember which tablet it is, where it talks about Thoth taking on a body at will. Remember that? I read that to you guys. I read that to you before. Y'all remember that? So they're getting this from, they're getting it from the bigs that came from afar. I'm telling you, they're master geneticists. And so they were given this information a long time ago. These people were. All right. So you got to remember, why is my tablet not staying on? You got to remember that, there's nothing new under the sun, and everything is interconnected, whether you know it or not. And so those Hermes talks about, creating or taking on a body at will, and, coming in from time to time, walking, living among the children of men and watching us and teaching us and things like that. But he took on different bodies, right? I don't know why my tablet's not. Okay. Well, I guess I'm just not going to get it. I think I turned my tablet off. I think maybe it's dead. It's not going to stay on. All right. So check out Netflix. I think it is called Clay Warriors. It's a documentary. I'm a geek. I like watching stuff like that. So if you see it on Netflix, go check it out and let me know. Okay. Netflix. I'm just going to pull it up real quick. I think it is called Clay Warriors. It's the China Clay Warriors. Okay, Netflix. I'm going to it right now. And I'm going to get back to this. But my point is that those warriors, when I looked at them on the Netflix documentary, I looked at them, I said, those things got a lot of detail. Like those people If you look at the damn thing, those statues had a lot of detail in their faces. They looked actually very, very real. I'm just telling you. They almost looked too perfect. But they were stone figures, and there was, I don't know how many was down there. I want to say maybe 300. I mean, it was a large army underground. And I'm like, why would somebody put that? And then they said he was an emperor. Okay. So, and they said those were supposed to be his army, um, his army that, would guard his tomb. Right. When I started looking, I was like, I'm typing it in now. Clay Warriors History Channel. I'm not getting off task, you guys. Just bear with me. History. Let's see. Don't have that. What was it called? It was a History Channel documentary. Clay Warriors. All right. I know it was on History. I know it was on Netflix. It was same. It was on the lines of like Graham Hickok's Ancient America. Ancients. Was it Ancient China? Is that what it was called? Ancient China. Okay, they've got Ancient Apocalypse. Mysteries of the Terracotta Warriors on Netflix. I'm gonna hold it up right here. Look, right here. See it? Look how many warriors. That's inside the tomb, y'all. Those, I'm telling you, that is I'm telling you, those are close to golems. It looks just like these things right here. I'm just telling you. All right. So this was done in the 16th century. Master Elijah Chum, with the help of the Book of Yetzirah, allegedly made an artificial man, a goyim. Elijah stated that it came to life when he wrote the secret name of God on the clay figure's forehead. The name of that's over in the book over here I got. I tell you, I could probably create some shit like that, but I'm not. I have no need to. I'm trying to ascend. This place is crazy enough. I don't need to add to the craziness. So it says, it was also reported that Rabbi Judah Lo ben Benzela of Prague created Goyim too. They grew to such an incredible size that in his fear, he removed the secret name. And once erased, the Goyim returned to its original size and became lifeless. This convinced him and others that the animations occurred through words alone. Lord of the Rings fans might see a similarity between the Goyim and a golem, originally a hobbit-like creature named Shimgol, who had been corrupted by the One Ring. Over the centuries, the ring twisted his body and mind, turning him into a wretched, tormented being, obsessed with reclaiming his precious. My precious, my precious. Y'all remember that? That bald-headed thing with like one string of hair on his head? Golly, my precious. I'm surprised my dog's not barking. She hates that thing. He plays a dual role in the story, both helping and betraying Frodo and Sam as they journey to Mount Doom. Ultimately, his greed leads to his downfall as he seizes the ring but falls into the fires of Mount Doom, inadvertently fulfilling the quest to destroy it. There has been speculation that the golem's name and nature could actually be connected to the Jewish myth of the Goyim, okay, which, although are typically mindless protectors, both figures share themes of transformation, loss identity, and a existence shaped by a singular purpose. The golem, like the Goyim, is being warped by an external force, the ring rather than the magic, and he becomes a creature of the compulsion rather than free will. I'm telling you, that's what we're dealing with right now with them pretenders. Eleanor of Worms, the supposed author of the Kabbalistic book, attributed these miracles to the angel Raziel. Mm-hmm. One of the 200. Go Google on your phones right now, like Chief Redwood said. Go look up how many domes and craters there are worldwide. It's going to say from 190 to 200. There's 200 craters or meteorite craters in the Earth's surface. And I'm telling you, that is from the fallen angels. Thank you very much, Chief, for helping cross-correlate that information. I tell you, it makes perfect sense where they fell. They came down. Trying to tell you. Oh my God. So he says, in this book she wrote, she said, Eleanor of Worms, the supposed author of the Kabbalistic book attributed these miracles to the angel Raziel. Raziel, who is believed to be the angel closest to God's throne, recording divine secrets, cosmic knowledge, and the inner workings of the universe. So I'm going to tell you the Anunnaki. They're just beings from a different period, different time frame, outside the ice walls. They're interdimensional beings that came here. I mean, that's all it is. I'm just telling you. So it says, he was closest to God's throne. He knew cosmic knowledge, the inner workings of the universe, and so forth. He is said to have also written a book called the Sefer Raziel Hamalak, or the Book of Raziel, the Angel, which contains esoteric wisdom, including knowledge of the celestial spheres and angelic hierarchies and the hidden forces of creation. Is that book even out? I bet you somebody's got it in a private collection at home. Somebody super rich like Jeff Bezos, or what's that reptilian, Peter Thiel, or what's that other reptilian, Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, they're keepers of ancient wisdom and knowledge. And also, before I forget, there was someone that had posted a comment on my video day before yesterday or yesterday, whenever, and he was asking me if I was an Eastern Star. No, I am not affiliated with any of those goofy ass organizations. And for anybody who sees this, you're an Eastern Star. Sorry, but not sorry. No, I'm not affiliated with any of that shit. I'm not any Freemasons, any kind of secret society. I don't believe in any of that shit. I do not partake in any of that because I understand what it is. And that goes for any kind of fraternities, sororities, FBA. I'm thinking off the top of my head. Any kind of organization, I'm not affiliated with any of that shit because I don't believe in any of it. And a belief is lack of knowledge, knowing. Let me rephrase that. I do not, my values as who I am as a sentient person, I do not align with any of that stuff because I understand what they've done over the periods of centuries of how they've manipulated and controlled the information and how they've used it for the downfall of said specific people on this dome, which is the melanated people. They've kept the ancient knowledge to themselves and they've ruled over us far way too long. And I'm telling you that in the beginning, it was nothing but us melanated people, and we're the reason why things are the way they are now. Now you introduce all these other phenotypes, and now you've got other phenotypes that are over us. Yeah, okay, I will say that we worship things and we did things that we were not supposed to, that the creator of all specifically told us not to, and we did it anyway. So there's where you have the downfall at. And then when you have people who look like you and I'm saying melanated for the video, who are melanated, but they have ancient wisdom and knowledge, and they're not teaching people, and they're keeping it for themselves with these little secret societies like Obama and all his cronies. I mean, come on now. I'm just telling you, I don't believe in any of that. I don't partake in any of that. And I think it has been nothing but a disservice to us as sentient beings, period. It doesn't matter what color you are. We're all enslaved in this dome. And I'm just going to tell you, we're all enslaved in this dome. We're not free. We're not free. Not by a long shot. Come on, get up here and lay down. Get up and lay down. Get up and lay down, Mimi. So I don't affiliate myself with any of that stuff. And the reason why is because it has done nothing but it has done nothing for us in humanity as a whole. It's too cliquish. It's a cult. If you're not in the group, then, you know, like George Collins said, it's a big group. And if you're not involved or you're not in it, then, you know, it's not, it doesn't serve you for anything. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not a part of the club and you're not in the club, then you don't get exclusive information. And I think that's wrong. And I do. And, you know, who makes a determination of said information? Why would you keep it or hide it from people? It's all about control. It's all about money, control, greed, culling the population, and putting other people over appointing a rulership. And I don't believe in that. I don't agree with that at all. I do not agree with that at all. I think we're all sentient beings. And even for the ones who are clones in Cabbage Patch, hey, they've got a quickening, and they may not have a soul. They may be NPCs, but for those humans that are here on this planet, in this dome or this existence, I don't agree with any of it. My thought process of who I am, I don't align with that. Would you lay down, boy? My chihuahua's hit me on the leg. I'm sorry. So I just want to call that out and make sure I was clear with that. The reason why I think that it's bad for us as melanated people as a whole, because we're the ones that started the shit with the secret societies. And then when the other phenotypes were created, then they took over. And so now this is what you have running the planet, what you have running the surface of the planet. I can only speak to the surface. I don't know what's going on underground. I'm not privy to that. I'm not privy to that at all. So, I can only speak to the surface, and the surface is pretty fucked right now. I'm just going to tell you. So, all right. So it says that this book, the book of Raziel the angel, which contains esoteric wisdom, including knowledge of the celestial spheres, angelic hierarchies, and the hidden forces of creation. According to legend, Raziel gave his book to Adam and Eve after their expulsion from the Garden of Eden to help them understand divine mysteries and navigate the physical world. Later, it was said to have been passed down through figures like Enoch, Noah, and Solomon, or Soul of None. Well, I'm going to tell you this. Here's a twofold caveat to this. Enoch is energy, nitrogen, oxygen, carbon, and hydrogen. All right. And Noah and Solomon are all variations of your consciousness. So the book that has been passed down to understand divine mysteries and navigation of the physical world is already within you. It's in your DNA. It's stamped in your DNA. So once you go back to source and ascend or become Christed or reach nirvana, become centripetal, then you will have access to that. It's the Akashic Records. It's within you. You just have to unlock it. That's what I'm telling you. All right. According to the legend, Raziel gave the book to Adam and Eve after their expulsion from the Garden of Eden to help them understand divine mysteries and navigate the physical world. Later was said to have been passed down through the figures like Enoch, Noah, and Solomon, soul of man. It's within you. Influencing Jewish mystical traditions. Raziel is also associated with the arcane wisdom and divine revelation and protection, and is sometimes invoked into the Kabbalistic practices for insight into hidden knowledge. Eleanor's book is quite literally packed with the strange Christian names, surnames, and aliases of angels based upon Gabriel, Michael, Raphael, and many, many more. Yeah, I have the 200 names. It's in one of these books up here. I've read all of them. I've called them out. I've read them all. I mean, they still exist, and they are energy beings. They can come into the flesh or what have you in the material form. But yes, I have all 200 names of them. And the evidence, like Chief was saying, is the craters, the 200 craters that quote unquote are supposed to be meteorites. No, they were actually here. I'm just going to tell you. So it says, even as far back as the 10th century, a major text of Islamic and European alchemy known as the Picatrix described magical and astrological methods for animating statues or figures. Roger Bacon, 1220 to 1292, an English philosopher, alchemist, and Franciscan friar, known for the pioneering work in science, optics, and experimental method, speculated about the artificial life and how alchemy could manipulate nature to create animated beings. We've already been doing that. We're past that point. For those of you who don't know, excuse me, we're already past that point, you guys. We've already talked about this. The only thing I need to do is just do the presentation and just show you some of the websites, and we go through it and look at it together. But I mean, it's a real thing. They've been doing this stuff for a while. Even though it's not legal here, it's illegal here. It's not legal in the quote unquote United States corporation. There are other countries that they've been doing it. What do you call it? UAE, Arabia, over there, Middle East. They've been doing it over there. Canada. Mexico didn't even have anything. Mexico. I'm just telling you. And they've been doing it here too, but they've been doing it on the ground with the labs and stuff like that. I mean, I'm just telling you. It's not a far stretch. I mean, it's no big deal. I mean, You're a clone, you're a clone. I mean, all I can tell you, truth is stranger than fiction. So it says in the 1700s, Austrian nobleman Johann Ferdinand Kort von Kufstein, along with Italian mystic Abbe Gioni, claimed to have produced 10 of these homunculi. But at the 18th and 19th centuries, the idea became associated with mysticism and fiction rather than serious scientific inquiry. This was around the time of Tartary. Yes, they did do this stuff. Okay. It heavily influenced Gothic literature, particularly the work of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein in 1818. Where do you think, here's what I was going to tell you guys. When we start to look at these books that are quoted as fiction and they're supposed to be not real, like science fiction, you really need to consider the fact that they may be real and that the only way they can publish this information is to call it under a fictional title, a science fiction title. All right. And some people say, oh, Nisi, you're reaching. You're just too fantastical. It's still fake. It's not real. Okay. Then your belief and your values and your understanding and your spiritual enlightenment has not reached that point yet. That's fine. It's fine. If you can't handle the truth, that's fine. I'm just telling you. They publish some of these things under fiction, but it's actually real. Just like the movie Avatar. That was actually real. That shit actually happened. The giant trees all around the world that's been cut down and we think that are mountains, they're actually freaking trees. It's telling you. So it says, Shelley had been studying the work of Johann Conrad Dippel, a German alchemist and theologian who was also rumored to have experimented with artificial life. His work with animal remains and alchemical elixirs fueled rumors that he had actually reanimated a dead matter. Why do you think they're pushing this Neuralink technology? Why do you think they're pushing artificial AI or artificial intelligence, artificial God? They're just doing something that was already done previously. There's nothing new under the sun. They're repeating the same shit. I'm just telling you. In 1956, the occultist Franz Barton described the methods for creating an austral homunculus in the book titled Initiation into the Hermetics. Unlike earlier alchemists, Barton's approach was more spiritual than physical. He suggested a magician could create one in the astral plane to serve as a magical assistant or a guardian. I'm going to highlight that book. I'm going to try to go to an old bookstore and see if I can find that stuff. There's 1956, Franz Barton. I have a couple of old books. Unlike earlier alchemists, Barlow's approach was more spiritual than physical. He suggested the magician could create one in the astral plane to serve as a magical assistant or a guardian. Some occultist traditions, including the Rosicrucian and the Hermetic order, have also explored the idea of the homunculus as a metaphor for spiritual transformation rather than a literal being. I'm going to tell you it's a literal being. Yeah, we do go through a process internally when you're building a temple and you're working through the cup of muck. It's like I told you, you have to be an airhead, take no thought. You have to align all four bodies. Y'all know the spiel. I tell y'all this all the time. But there is some truth to this. Yeah, there is. There's too many texts that say it. Yeah, we go with George Orwell 1984 and say, oh, every book has been changed. Everything has been rewritten. All the information has been hidden. No, there's a lot of people out there that had the sense enough to know that this time would come about and they would have to hide it for future generations. All right, I'm just going to tell you. The idea of creating life through a ritual or spiritual means can also be found in the Hindu traditions such as the Brahmas, creation of life, which is over here on my shelf, through divine thought and speech. In Hindu mythology, Brahma, the creator god, brought life into existence using the divine thought and speech. He first imagined the universe in his mind, and through the mental creation, Manahasa Shakti brought forth the first beings, including sages and celestial entities. These beings were not born in physical sense, but were instead manifested by Brahma's pure will. Okay. Another important aspect of creation from Brahma's speech was played which played a key role in shaping reality, is a divine sound often associated with considered to be the first vibration and set everything into motion. The Swati, goddess of wisdom, and speech, is closely linked to the process, as this represents knowledge and the power of words and thought through her influences. Brahma gave structure to language and sacred texts known as the Vedas, which I have over here. It's really good to read if you guys haven't read it. Come on, get up here. My dog keeps hitting me on the leg. Get up here and lay down. Good night. Good night. They'll be past your bedtime in a minute. So it says, as creation progressed, Brahma formed both spiritual and physical beings. Some of the first creations, like the Sanat Krumas, chose a path of spiritual wisdom rather than world existence. To ensure life continued, he later created beings like Manu, the ancestor of the humanity, together with various other life forms. Other life forms. Over time, the universe evolved into its current form, with both divine and mortal creatures shaping the cycle of existence. Even the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle believed in the idea of spontaneous generation, the theory that certain forms of life could arise naturally from innate matter under the right conditions. In the book, The History of Animals and the Generation of Animals, Aristotle observed that some organisms, such as insects, seem to emerge from the decaying matter. The concept of the homunculus has inspired several conspiracies due to the mystical, chemical, and esoteric nature. Some believe that it is a real secret endeavor undertaken by the government and secret societies, particularly in relation to human cloning. Yeah. I mean, that's a thing. It's real. Yeah, it is. And that's another reason why I just will never be a part of that whole secret society mess. Again, we're all sentient beings. Why do I have to bow down and worship you because you have some knowledge that I don't? That don't make you no better than me. And you just have an upper hand, you have the advantage. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Knowledge should be free. That's why I tell you we have to ascend, because all the shit that they're trying to do and that they are doing and that they have done, it's all gonna be wiped out. I'm telling you, the creator of all is not gonna continue letting this dome continue like this. These beings keep doing the same shit over and over, and every dome they go to, they infect. It's like a parasite. It's like a organism that they take over, and they do this in every single dome that they've been in. I've read that to you guys. So I'm telling you, this is not going to continue. I'm just going to tell you, it's not going to end well. But I digress. So the concept of this has inspired several conspiracies due to mystical, chemical, and esoteric nature. Some believe that it's very real, secret endeavors undertaken by the government, secret societies, especially in relation to the human cloning. These beings are believed to be created for secret purposes such as superhuman abilities. Yes. Cryptid stories that I reshare over here on Facebook and on YouTube. Yes. Lilith Dread, Donovan Dread, David Colitis with the disappearances, missing 411, all this crap, the Bigfoot, all these things. They're interdimensional beings. There have been people that have seen predator-like beings that are cloaked in the trees. It's not a movie. They've actually seen stuff. This woman scared the shit out of this woman. But I'm just telling you, the things they put in the movies, they put it out there because it's real. All right? You just got to get past it. Y'all just got to wrap your minds around it. These beings are believed to be created for secret purposes such as superhuman abilities, mind control, or to serve as slaves or agents for undercover operations. Yes. They even have a special forces unit to hunt down cryptids. They do. It is what it is. It is seen as a precursor to the more modern forms of biotechnology. That's the field you guys need to research and see what kind of jobs there are, because that's what's going to be taken over. If it's not trades, it's going to be artificial intelligence and biotechnology. They seek and manipulate, artificially create life. That's the new thing now. Okay. The homunculus is sometimes viewed as a type of puppet whose mind can be controlled by its creator. There are even links within some theories to aliens, extraterrestrials, or supernatural entities, all the above. And when you say extraterrestrial, that basically tells me that they're not from this dome, that they're outside the dome, they're outside the ice walls. They come from another dome, because there's multiple domes like this one. All right. I don't say planet. To me, planet is a plane of existence, and there are multiple planes of existence within this dome. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So it says it can be, okay, so they believe it can be controlled by the creator. There are even links within some of the theories to aliens, extraterrestrial, supernatural entities who have been involved in the creation of the Homunculus as a larger plan to control humanity. Remember Star Wars where they created the clone army? Hey, Chief, shout out to you. I was just talking about you earlier with the 200. Good call. I actually looked that up afterwards. You know, I'm always looking at stuff. So it says the clone army. What was that? The clone army, and I forget which one it was. I want to say it was on number 3 or 4. The Star Wars trilogies. It's in there with the clone army. Okay, that's another thing. I mean, that's right in plain sight. They took the genetics from one person, a man, and they gave his genetics, and they created a whole army that looked just like him. I don't know, it was thousands of them. So the clone army is a real thing. Furthermore, the alien civilizations are experimenting with creation of artificial beings to study human genetics, or to serve as infiltrators within human societies. Yes, that's all the above true. In more contemporary conspiracy circles, some believe that the homunculus is a precursor to the modern transhumanism goals due to their desire to enhance human capabilities through genetics modification. Thus, the homunculus, oh my God, that's a tongue twister, represents an early idea of creating artificial humans to produce a new superior race. Now, here's the thing. It is also thought that during World War II, you know, they're going to bring it up, the Nazis conducted experiments to create artificial beings or superhumans. Their knowledge came from the occult symbolism and esoteric knowledge that included the homunculus-like creature methods, and then it had appeared in numerous books and films and TV shows. Faust in 1882, The House of the Scorpion 2002, Full Metal Alchemist, The Alchemist, The Golem, The Bride of Frankenstein, The Homunculus. They even had a movie named that. Pan's Labyrinth, Splice, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. That's in 2009-2010 movie. The X-Files, well, we all love that show. That ran from 1993 to 2018. The Witcher, 2019 to present. The Parasite, The Maximum, that was in 2014 and 2015. While not exactly the homunculi, the alien parasites mimic the theme of artificial or unnatural beings. I just watched over the holiday when I was off from work, the movie Host. I just watched it. Today is what, Sunday? I watched it Friday night, The Host, where they infected the victim through the eye, and then it attached to its nervous system, and it took over the host. And eventually the person's body that they had, the soul would eventually die. And then this creature would take over. And pretty much when it got into the body, it would kill off the human. That sounds like the real to me. I was reading that to y'all not too long ago. I got to finish that book. Part 1 and Part 2, Donald Marshall. If y'all remember me talking about that before. Same thing. They infect you through the eye. Yep. So, I mean, I'm just saying, it's quite fascinating to me if they put it out there and people are just not catching it. So it says, another interesting twist to the homunculus is the pickled punk, which may be something you've not heard of before. I don't know what the pickled punk is. Let's see what that is. For years, they were passed off as slideshow oddities. Oh, those things in those big giant pickle jars. Fetal anomalies floating in formaldehyde. Yeah, I've been in there where they have fetuses in those big old jars, and they have body parts and weird looking shit in formaldehyde. They toured from town to town as gruesome entertainment. But beneath the surface of this grotesque display lies a far more disturbing possibility. Some researchers, occultists, and conspiracy theorists, I hate that word, CIA dub word, suggest that these specimens weren't simply medical mishaps, but remnants of the ancient alchemical rituals of earlier unsanctioned attempts at human cloning. It could be. It could be. I'm telling you, they did some weird shit. When Enki and Nimhergzar were in the lab, according to the text, now the Sumerian text, They were in the lab. They brought beer to this plane of existence and within this dome, and they were drinking in the lab, and they were laughing at their creations. Like one guy, he kept having too much sperm, so it was like leaking all over the floor, and they were laughing at him. And then there was another person they had created. He only had one eye, and I think he had like. I don't think he had a nose. He had one eye, and I think he had two ears, but he couldn't talk. It was like they were laughing because they kept trying to create this damn avatar template, and they couldn't get it right. So they were drinking and laughing about it. Bathroom break. Okay, Chief. Well, thanks for joining me. It cracked me up because they actually said that in the Sumerian tablet in the text. I was like, wow, okay. So they thought that shit was funny. I'm just telling you. So yeah, they were doing the cloning stuff and they were creating stuff back then. And this was long ago. So it says, according to the French sources, some of the pickle punks that made their way into the carnivals or private collections were actually products of the clandestine experiments, gathered either government funded or a work of biotech outlaws. Now look at this shit. I'm going to hold this picture up. Guess who's holding a pickle punk? I'm going to show you. These malformed beings, unable to survive, were quite quietly either disposed of or preserved as trophies. Adding to the mystique, celebrities and elites have allegedly developed a taste for collecting these grotesque relics. One particular example of this is Leonardo DiCaprio, which I'm going to show you, photographed next to what appears to be a pickle punk from a private collection. Look at this shit. Take a screenshot. That's disgusting. There's your proof. And that's not Photoshop. That's real. That's not AI and that's not Photoshop. The photo, through rarely curated in mainstream media, has fueled rumors that Hollywood elites and influential figures kept some specimens not as curiosities, but as symbols of power, like holding dominion over life, death, and creation. Some collectors reported pay millions for rare examples, particularly those believed to be real or tied to occult origins. Were pickle punks merely bizarre? Okay. Slideshow relics or evidence of humanity's hubristic attempts to play God. Whether created through ancient alchemy or rogue biotechnology, these floating anomalies may be more than just preserved flesh. They might be byproducts of secrets that humanity were never meant to unlock, which some continue to pursue in the shadows. Yeah, I'm telling you they do. I find it fucking fascinating. I'm not saying it's right. And I'm not giving attaboys to them. I'm just saying, when you know, and you just can't help but shake your damn head and go, ain't nothing new under the sun. They've been doing this shit for years. Okay. Across centuries and civilizations, the pursuit of creating life, whether through the Homunculus, the Goyim, or some other artificial being, has remained an obsession lurking within the shadows of human ambition. Yeah. What began as alchemical experiments and whispered incantations has evolved into the realm of genetic engineering, artificial intelligence, and biomechanical hybrids. Wait a minute. Do y'all know they have a DNA-based supercomputer? They have a DNA-based computer. Mm-hmm. I was listening to Billy Carson. This was like maybe a couple years back, and he was talking about it. That's why they build these big ass data centers. They're supposed to be so they can hold all this information that they're collecting all over the planet. But these freaking data centers literally cause people sicknesses. They take water. Okay. You have to have water piped in to cool off whatever they do. And then you also have to think about the energy that these data centers pull in. And they're building a lot right here in Texas, where I live. And they're going to have to do something with the legislation and the laws, because they're supposedly building the data centers further out in the county. Like, I think there's not one too far from us, right? I'm being serious. So people are complaining because they were once rural areas. Now they're coming in and buying up land to put these data centers up. Just saying, when you know, you know. So there is a such thing as a DNA-based computer. Look it up. But perhaps the true horror lies not in the creation itself, but in the hands that wield such knowledge. History has shown that those who seek to play God rarely do so for the good of mankind. No, they don't. Secret societies, Rogue scientists and shadowy institutions may have claimed they abandoned such forbidden arts, yet the research always continues behind locked doors and beneath the surface of public awareness. They've been doing it. They're going to keep doing it. How many failed experiments and how many hidden abominations have been cast aside? Well, I'm going to tell you what, the cryptid program they had that they were running, they actually killed off some of the cryptids, and some of them they let loose in the national parks. Well, I tell you, they got a military unit that goes out and hunts these things down when they get out of control. They have tracking devices. Some of them were wearing collars at one time, but they have chips implanted in them where they can track these things. And when they're out in the wild, of course they're going to procreate. They're going to mate, and they're going to have children. They're going to have families. And so then you've got a pack of them running together. So what do you think's happening? I'm just telling you. What do you think's happening? And there's some things that have been here that are ancient that the Tartarians knew. Why do you think there was wall all the way here in the United States? Just like they always talk about the Great Wall of China. My ancestors built the wall here in the United States, and quote unquote Atriel or America. There was one here too. I'm telling you, they blew up a lot of stuff over here because they had to destroy what was already here so they could come in and recreate everything and reconstruct and give a new narrative. It only takes, like Chief said, one war, 3 generations to erase the history and to teach something false and something that's not real. Because they're teaching you what they want you to know. There is no more learning and creativity now. They're teaching you to take a test. They're teaching you to memorize things based on the curriculum, and you're not really obtaining the knowledge. Does that make sense what I'm saying? They set all this structure up for a purpose. I'm telling you, they were slick with their shit. If you know, you know. So it says, yet the research continues behind locked doors and beneath the surface of public awareness. How many failed experiments and how many hidden abominations have been cast aside? Their existence erased before the world could ever know. Oh, it's coming out. If these unnatural beings do exist somewhere in a forgotten laboratory or a secluded vault or an island that's not included on the maps, what happens when they are unleashed? Death, whole towns get destroyed, people get killed. I'm telling you. Or worse still, what if they are already amongst us, their presence unnoticed and their purpose unknown? Yeah. Mm-hmm. The line between myth and reality has always been thinner than we care to admit, and those who peer too closely into the abyss of creation may find that something has been staring back all along. And that's the end of that chapter. So we've got one more chapter in this book and we're done. All right. The next chapter up, which is the final chapter, which is chapter 15, is the contributor stories. Okay. And we're done with that book. Now, I'm not going to have time to finish this whole up. I know I've been on here a minute. This is going to be a little long. All right. But I'm going to try to read through this pretty quickly, and I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to read. This is Murder of Reality, chapter 23, and it's Sailors, Goats, and the Salts. So let's listen up. In the Jewish calendar during the period of Adar, the Purim scroll is read. It contains the book of Esther and is usually carved ornately with a solar fish, a symbol of the angel or dragon, connected to the dog star Sirius. Celebration of Purim remembers Esther, a parable of redemption set in the period of the 5th century BC. Her account deals with the Persian official Haman and his elaborate plan to kill the Jews. According to Esther's story, the culminates with the Haman drawing lots or P-U-R to decide when. The Old Testament recalls how Esther, traditionally the king's wife, Xerxes I, 300, Xerxes, remember that movie, helped to save her people. The 300, of course, were melanated. I'll tell you. Xerxes was melanated. If you know, you know. All right. There are additional puns encrypted within the story with regards to Esther and her consort. In Arabic, the Haman's name is punned with Hamamanan, to protect or defend or plead a cause. It is contrasted in Hebrew with Haman, the host, in parentheses, obtained from the Arabic root mana, to prevent, or mani, obstacle, inferring the Shatani, the fallen angels. Shatani, Shatani, fallen angels. The 200 that came down for what? A wedding. Supposedly. And then they did what? According to the book of Enoch, they snatched up their brides to be. Just going to tell you. Esther is presented as preventing the invasion of the host. The language host, which means army, is adopted to convey a mythical quality compared to the fallen angels. Typically to form, we are dealing with a series of complex symbols. Her narration is very fishy, okay? And I'll show you the picture in just a second. The Hebrew noun dag, D-A-G, in parentheses means fish, tabulates a doeg, or anxiety, relative to the host of Babylonian tradition, the Dogori, the Dagon, D-A-G-O-N, depicted as a fish deity, the Dagon, who are also known to come out of the water, another group of extraterrestrials, whatever. The Dagon is the purveyor of knowledge and the transmitter of human culture. Here it is right here, a woman riding a fish, aka the mermaids. That's also another one. Again, you're looking at the aquatic kingdom. I'm just saying. I tell you, there's many different races. So you can take it how you want it. The Babylonian fish god Dagon in Greek is Drakon. Drakon is the harbinger of war and pestilence. Description consists with the Latin etymologies. For example, the term plague is closely dependent on plaga, okay, a blow or a wound, or plagarius, a plunder or a kidnapper, depicted symbolically as a pleasuria, a fish. This allomorphs are synonyms of the reptile or rapier, rendered as a rapist or a pillager, a rapier, themes exercised during the rites of the Purim. Ritualistically, Esther's story is retelling the Passover in spring lamb Mars, nomenclature of the patron goddess Venus. The goddess is manifested as the matriarch Esther, a name borrowed from the Persian root Ishtar, or Venus, all right? Esther linguistically equates with the eponym hysteria, or concealment, conceptual to Venus and the god Amuri, which is the hidden god. The ceremonial, the death of the newborn lamb, is aligned to Esther or Easter, manifestations of the Eastern star Venus, okay? Contextually, Esther shares the same name with the Babylonian goddess of love, Ishtar, represented as a savior. Her epithet, savior, however, is shown to be a philologically circumspect. The item savior is double-barreled in the classical languages. The Greek word soter, or savior, is derived from the Hebrew eponym soti, or deviant, diminutive of the satir, or the secrecy. The phonetic variations of seter, S-E-T-E-R, include sod, or secret, correlated biblically with the destruction of the city of Sodom and Gomorrah. Genetically, setir annotates the priesthood of Saturn, paired with the evening star. Sidus Latin, or star, is grouped with the sadir, or the fallen, literally to sit. A lexical to Satan and Satanism. Okay. A role reversal of the soter, which is Greek, or savior, is depicted in Christian and Islamic tradition as the Antichrist, or the goat. In the gospel account, Jesus' ministry begins in the 29th year, the same period of the Saturn's orbit around the sun, it's all astrology. Theoretically, the soter, disguised in Greek, or the esotericus, or esoterical, or extrapolated in Latin as the soterhalis, or member of the secret society or the priestly college. I'm telling you. There's so many secret societies out there. What is the purpose?
Why are they hiding them? Why are they hiding the information? I mean, it's hidden in plain sight. I mean, if you want to research it and get it, but when you join these organizations, they're not going to teach you the real truth. They're going to keep you chasing the carrot. You're going to get in, you're going to go to dinners, vacations, meetings, pay money, trips, be on boards and community and dinners and things like that. But what are you really accomplishing? Are you moving up an organization to gain more fiat? Or is it you're gaining more fiat to keep you at a lower state of vibration where you're really not learning the truth, which is going within yourself? You don't need a secret society. All you need to do is fast. All you got to do is stop eating and meditate. Literally. But if it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. Just going to tell you. In English, sauter is cryptic of the word salt, a corruption of the Latin masculine noun sol, or salt or seawater. Salt is paired in the Roman language with salteus, to leap or jump. Symbolically, the dancing or singing goat, Greek tragedia, I hope I'm saying that right, an angel. Colloquially, saltus refers to the woman's sexual organs from the Arabic noun sit, or lady. A symmetrical to the fallen star, sedis or saltus, is rendered in English as slut, previously of unknown origin. The skipping goat is a symbol of coitus. It illustrates the season of spring, or to leap, equated in Rome with the Sali, the dancing priesthood. It's always a damn priesthood. A secret fraternity, always a secret fraternity or order. A secret fraternity, the Sali, is aligned with the Sodius, or the brotherhood, descended from Moses, the Hebrew of Sadi, or occult. Imperial decree designates the Sali as the college of 12 priests or disciples dedicated to Mars, renowned for their observations of the solemn procession through Rome. This custom is enacted on the calendar of March, which is at the end of the year. Okay. Disori, a Sali, is English slang, is spelled as Sally, and denotes a eunuch, religiously identified with a pilgrim or the migrant, addendum to the salt, or an angel. And here's a picture. Look, looks like a demon to me with the horns. Look, and the wings, and there's the person right there. Yeah, symbology is real. This drawing shows Luca Cerlielli fresco for the Avidi Cathedral in Florence. The Book of Revelations describes Jesus as the morning star. Christ, in Segalli's depiction, assumes the dual role as the savior and the smiter, iconically associated with the serpent and the reaper. The Sully traced their origin back to the deity Numa. See, it's always some extraterrestrial bullshit, some deity, which traditionally instituted the College of Mars. According to the Roman legend, a shield fell from heaven. The nymph Aegria predicted that it preserved the possessor of the article would be the dominant people of the earth. A shield fell to the earth. So you mean to tell me that 200, they brought down weapons? Of course they did. Of course they did. Of course they did. Numa had, okay, so it says, okay, it says, predicted that if they preserved the possessor of this article who held this artifact would be the dominant people of the earth. Now, who do you think is the dominant people right now? Those who say they are, but what? They are not. Those J's, I ain't gonna say their names. Zionists, the Zios, they're the dominant ones. They're the ones with the money. They're in every organization. They've in every seat of power in governments all around the world. They got people seated everywhere. Corporations, medical, education, military. I'm telling you, everywhere. So it says, Noma had 11 replicas made and appointed 12 guardians to the Salians, a priesthood adopted from the Greek noun Selene, or moon, equivalent to the Semitic languages to Kamar, the priest of the moon, and Quamar, which is moon. The protagonist, Numa, plays on the Latin name numeri, or deities. Conceptually, numeri is literate with Greek word nymphi, or nymph, traced with the Egyptian Arabic root nama or sleep. A maiden, literally a bride, registered a nocturnal angel conjoined astrologically with the moon, synchronized with the planet Saturn and chaos. The emblem of the dark star is symbolized as a burning shield doubled with goat skin and salt. You can't be any more stranger than that. Goat skin and salt. Numa's celestial object, which is the shield, conveys the solid priesthood in tandem with the covenant. See, told you. Historically, salt signifies an angel or goat and contrasts Adam's expulsion from Mars, diagnostic of the conflict. In the biblical tradition, Mars discloses the Exodus and earlier still the transformations of Lot's wife into a pillar of salt, recorded in Genesis chapter 19, verse 26. A defining act, her metamorphosis elicits the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. Abstrusely, the Hebrew noun amud or pillar corresponds with the Arabic word hamd, H-A-M-D, which is to praise, a derivation of the Semitic stem madha. Amud serves as a cryptic footnote to the king of Gomorrah, the Adma, or red earth, equated with Adam. Linguistically, the pillar is illustrative of the Mada priesthood, Mada, M-A-D-A priesthood, a marker or ritual sacrifice, Madhe, to adjacent to the virgin and salt. The transfiguration of Lot's wife is iconic of an angel, contextual to a reaper, conceived as the serum, a fallen demon. A serum. It's always them damn seraphim. A demigod, is what they got in quotations, is doubled with salt, indicative of the copulator, a goat indexed in the Greek mysteries. Here's a picture. Look at this shit. You see that? You walk in and you see this on the ceiling. What is the name of that movie with your boy? It wasn't Robert De Niro. Al Pacino, when he played the Satan. And his son was Keanu Reeves. He was a lawyer. Y'all remember that movie? And he was supposed to sleep with his sister and bring forth the Antichrist. Y'all remember that movie? He was a lawyer. It's an old movie. It's like back in the late 80s, early 90s. It was a good movie, though. That's why I remind me of that depiction, because it was on the ceiling as you walk into the hotel where the devil, where the quote unquote Satan lived. He never slept. There was no bed there. And when you walk in, you will see these beings painting on the wall, like the Vatican with the amphitheater where they got that weird shit behind the podium. It reminds me of that. Halos, the Greek noun for salt, is polymorphic and signifies halos, the disk, or the sun, or the moon. Halos is related to hals, or sea, homologous to the halamori, or to leap, invocative of the goatfish or deity. Goatfish or deity. Excuse me, you guys. We're almost done. Thank you for hanging out. One moment. I'm sorry. It's really warm here in Texas, and it was cold. It was like 32 degrees. Now it warmed up to like 80, and now it's dropping back down to like 50. It's like the weather's all over the place. So it's the pollen and everything is really like getting to me. But anyway, let me just wrap this up. We're almost done. So, goatfish or deity, right? Hama, which is to leap, encodes the Hebrew edonym alma, or virgin, and amia, or mother, terms conjugate with the temple or prostitute or dancer. The allegorious play to Anglo-Latin is salt or soul, or sun, sea, and salt, or sati, to leap, implicit of saltus, the woman's genitalia. Okay. Ritually, salt is a signifier of the disc and the angel, registered with the goat and the serpent, paired with sexuality and with the sacred whore. Hori, or whore. The Alma Virgin enacts the passion play, taking the role of the goat, a motif which is interchangeable with the ram and Mars. Sacrificial death of the ascended ram substituted with the fallen goat, attributed to the loss and renewal. Climax of the meta narrative culminates with the ordinance of Mars, subdued by Venus. Here we go with the planets. theologically to the angels, the host, and the king. So they're making the simulation here with the planets and with these deities. All right. Relationship between the angelic multitude and the soldier details historically the implementation of the divine willpower accrued to the emperor adopted to Rome. A soldier's rations, a salarium, refers to his salt money or salary. Got it? Salt money or salary. That's what salary means, salt money. Is a symbol of the covenant. If y'all remember nothing else, remember that shit. Salt money means salary. Okay? That's the Roman terminology. A symbol of the covenant. The salarium is a ceremonious of absolution thematic of the sovereign. The etymology salire, to jump, leap, bound, or hoop, is codependent with salary. Okay. The transaction of salt money, which is salary, okay, originally to a legionnaire, delineates a sacrificial payment to the host, okay, worshipped as Mars. Theoretically, a soldier's life is compensated financially as a sacrifice to the god of war, which is Mars. Did y'all know that? The pay. God of war, Mars. I'm telling you, these people in Congress and all around the world, these governments, they know this shit. They know this shit because they're quote unquote members of the secret society. They hold the gatekeepers with the information. Just going to tell you. Identity in the Roman legion is purchased or redeemed through Ares, the ram, which is Mars. All right. Duel with the goat, an emblem of Venus, appearances of the horned god, astrologically is provident within the Semitic ciphers of a sailor, the concurrent with the host of an angel. Okay. Now it says in Arabic language, the noun bahar is sailor, is comparative to bahar or spice, inclusive of the votive Latin sal or salt, and salamir or salary. Philologically, bahar implies salt extracted from the bab, the Arabic root word of the sea. Bar, B-A-H-R, is a digestion or digression of the Syrian etonym baal or bai, sail. Connotating the merchant or the angel, akin to the redemption of the bar, a son. Semitically, bar, B-A-H-R, or Baal, B-A-A-L, y'all know who that is, or Baal, or Bay, or Bahar, are Patreon's equivalent in the English to sea, sir, sail, S-A-L, and sail, S-A-I-L, expressions of a sailor, an angel, or a lord. The merchant sailor is a symbol of piety and submission. In the Old Semitic languages, Bahar, a merchant, otherwise a sailor, cryptically delegates offerings to the Lord's altar, Baal. Veneration of the altar stone, or Harel, H-A-R-E-L, specifically Bahar, is a mariner or an angel. Designations of the name Bahar are events also in the German family of languages. For example, in Scandinavian, Baal, B-A-A-L, Harel, the Lord's altar. Baal means Lord. Baal means Lord. So you're seeing that deity there. There's so much symbolism to it. But I'm just going to tell you, it means Lord. All right. That's what that means. Identical to Valhalla, translated to the hall of the slain. Its usage is comparative in English as valor or value. The salt consolidates the covenant depicted as enduring and permanent. The element denotes the sailor, the host, the crew member identified with the tasaboeth. Additionally, the Hebrew noun meleki or salt is a homonym of sailor. Furthermore, the melek, the sailor, is a pun on the Hebrew word mahalik or angel, nominal, of Michael the king. Oh, this blueberry and lemonade's good. I'm drinking lemons and blueberry. You can see the lemons. I don't know if you can see the blueberries in there. I've been drinking that all day. We're almost done. The monarch specifies a sailor or crew member of the upper heaven, or upper ocean is heaven, twined with the desert nomad, the earth. Employed ritualistically, sodium chloride is sprinkled during the burning of a firstborn, a convertant in Egyptian theology with the tears of Atum or Ra. Okay. The ashes of the innocent are ground into a fine white powder, redolent of salt. The Hebrew word El or pestel, okay, El means God, is related to the Arabic adjective Ali or high, from Allah or light. Now I've got people messaging me. Let me do this. Put that out there. Sorry. I'm almost done. This is the last page. And it says, the ashes are ground up. Ashes of the innocent are ground up into a fine white powder, redolent of salt. The Hebrew word El or pastel denotes El, God, and is related to the Arabic adjective Ali, from Allah. In the English language, the pastel is combined with the affixed mortar, deduced from the archaic practice of grinding the votive into a fine white powder, equated with salt. The destruction of humanity memorizes the fall of Eve, okay, and commiserates through the angelic intercourse. All right, I'm telling you, there's so many layers within this text. I'm just going to tell you this. Some texts I've read where it says that Eve laid down with the serpent and she bore Cain. And she had two children, Cain and Abel. Cain was of the serpent and Abel was a human. I'm just going to tell you that. I mean, there's more to it than that. There's a different meaning to it. I'm just telling you. When you read and you study, you get to a certain understanding, but I'm telling you, in some of the texts I've read, that's what people theorize. I'm just going to tell you. But it's all the inner workings of us as men, as mankind. When you understand the text that you're reading is actually about what goes on within you, then you kind of get a different spin on it. You kind of have a different understanding of it. So it says, the destruction of humanity memorizes the fall of Eve, consummated through the angelic intercourse. Reenactment of the Diluvian myth connotes the onset of the ministration and the death of the infant, established through the foundation of the salt covenant. That's what that means. Archaically, the drama ordains the killing of the Pharaoh, a ram, in replacement of the sin. His blood lies substituted ritualistically with an innocent child, the firstborn lamb. That's where they get that from. Last page, here it is. Finishing it up. Appropriation of the innocent is elaborated in the Judaic theology as the festive of Purim, Purim. It details the spring or Passover or the lamb, covertly the death of the newborn correlated with the winter sun. Purim narrates the sacrificial killing of the righteous lamb, realized in the liturgical calendar as the festival of Easter, celebrated at the death and the resurrection of Christ. All right. In the Quran, the tradition, the replacement of the firstborn, demonstrates Yeshua as the Passover lamb. According to Islamic theology, the Messiah is not killed, but rather switched with another who assumes his likeness and is crucified. Christ's appearance is rendered in Arabic as Nazir, Nazar, illustrative of the Nazir priesthood. Y'all know that? The Nazir priesthood. According to the Christian mystics, the impostor is modeled theology on the scapegoat, a king, combined with the fish, Nazarni. The goat counterfeited with the lamb's death symbolizes the ram caught in the thicket. Its sacrifice petitioned with the crucifixion of Christ upon a tree. All of these symbols are covert talk for the immolation of a child within a tabernacle symbolized as communion. As the communion. The model of Isaac's offering, subliminally the ram, and the bush in the Christian mythology draws upon the lamb, okay? Draws upon the lamb's blood, the tree in the Judaic lore, the parallels, the lintel or door frame equated with Exodus. Dipping the lamb's blood details the Passover festival and the redemption of the firstborn with Israel's freedom, purchased theologically through the sacrifice of the Egyptian newborn. It is Christian mysticism. Appearance of the angel of death marks the tearing of the veil and the expiration or the transfiguration of Christ, the King, expressed etymologically in English as the curtain. Ritualistically killing of the pure or the guiltless in the Judaic theology is sanctioned during the spring equinox, paired with the winter solstice, okay, resembles the killing of Isaac, okay, these are all biblical stories, you can read them, y'all know them, Abraham's firstborn. Early Islamic tradition asserts the patriarch actually killed his son to be restored later by an angel. Establishment of the agreement constitutes the appropriations fundamental in the Roman mysteries to the veneration of Jupiter, the Father, the synopsis of the next chapter. All right. That was a lot. That was a mouthful. That was the sailor's goat and salt. That's what that was. Okay. Sailor's goat and salt. And that was chapter 23. So we've read chapter 23, Sailor's Goat and Salt. And then we also read chapter 14 of Guy Anderson's book. And we only have one more chapter to go. Okay. And that's the contributors, right? We read the Homunculus and we read the crown, or we read the Sailor's Goat and Salt. Okay. Now, I've been on here, I don't know how long, so we're not going to get to go through this other book like I thought. Maybe when I come back, we'll read over Enlil and the Chief of the Expedition to Earth. I think I'll start off with this book, and then I will cross-correlate this with the Alien World Order when we come back. But we've pretty much finished Guy Anderson's book. We're more than halfway through Murder of Reality, Hidden Symbolism, the Dragon. And we have a good bit to go on Flying Serpents and Dragons. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. It is past my bedtime. I got to get up early in the morning to be online. So we read from these books here. I hope you guys have an amazing night. And I need to take my black seed oil. And I don't think I took my cleanse today. I've had so much going on today. But I appreciate you guys stopping in to say hello. Chief Red Wolf and whoever else joined me. I appreciate it so much. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. For those of you who join me over on Facebook and for those of you who see this video on YouTube, I really appreciate your support. And I hope I answered your question. The gentleman, I can't think of his name, but he asked me if I was an Eastern Star. And he also asked, why do I think that these secret societies were the downfall of melanated people? And it is because we're the ones who started the stuff. I told you, the black nobility. And I hate using that word black. But when you know black means pale, void, absence of color. And then if you look at the Black's Law Dictionary over here, which is right here on my shelf, you'll see that it means dead in the eyes of the law. So people run around here calling us the foundation of black America, black this, black that. Y'all being stupid. Anybody that, like Chief says, anybody that attaches themselves by calling themselves black, I don't deal with people like that. I don't deal with you. You call yourself black, you dead then. You call yourself black or you call yourself African American when you ain't done your genealogy and you haven't identified what tribe you come from. All right. To me, I'm not going to argue with anybody. Like either you know or you don't. So you run around here calling yourself something that you're not, and you're casting a spell over yourself. I don't know how many times I have to tell people this. Like, stop identifying with what these things have told you that you're supposed to be, when you need to go within yourself. You're a sentient being. You're in this avatar body. You identify as a melanated person, then stop calling yourself black and learn your tribe. Spend the fucking money, spend $4,000 and get your damn genealogy done. And if you can't afford to do $4,000, there's other people out there that will do it for less. Okay. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Get it done. Stop calling yourself black. You're not black. You know, if you're dead, then why? Check your pulse. Because if you're watching this video, obviously you're not dead. You're still alive. And you still have time to ascend. You still have time to make changes in your life. So, but
yeah, I don't associate myself with any of that. So for you who see this video, I think I don't remember your name, but I appreciate you leaving that comment, brother. I really do. Yeah, I don't have time for that. So I don't partake in any of that stuff. I really don't. And for anybody who knows, the majority of people who are quote unquote researching and actually read and actually are putting forth an effort to make changes in their life, they're gonna be lone wolves, and they're not going to associate with people that are like that. We try to associate with like-minded people. The only thing I agree with Chief's saying that we need to come together. I think Chief brought him an acre. He's going to buy him 2 acres. And me and my husband are actually looking at purchasing some more land in this neighborhood or this area. So we'll see how that goes. But, you know, it's the thing of what you want to do with your life and how you want to make an impact. And what I can honestly tell you is we need to focus on going within, and we need to focus on our spiritual journey and our spiritual walk. And I hope I've made some sense, and I appreciate you guys joining me, and you guys have an amazing night. Remember what I always say, you be the change you want to see all around this earth dome, because it's up to you and I to make a positive change. And I will talk with you guys soon. I'm getting ready to go to sleep. I'm going to go put my PJs on right now and go to sleep, because my husband has to get up at 1:45 or 2:45 and it's 9:25 here in Houston. So he's knocked out. I'm going to go put my PJs on. I'm going to go get in bed, and I'm going to knock out myself, and I will see you guys sometime this week. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.